Hey! Hello, how are you doing?
Rona, hold on. Oh,
there we go, we gotta do that.
Can you let me move this? There we go. Hi.
Good, how are you doing?
I'm good.
Yeah.
Got off stage?
Yeah.
Great, yeah.
I saw your performance.
Did you laugh?
Yes, of course.
That's the most important
Of course.
thing.
It was really amazing. How's your stay in South Africa?
Well, I've never been, and
Yeah.
Cape Town's my first place, and I have to say I'm really enjoying it. I mean, you hear a lot about South Africa, especially growing up in India.
Yeah.
We heard a lot about everything.
Yeah, of course.
But coming here has been wonderful. One of the best things at the moment for me is that no one here seems to have heard of coronavirus. So you're so relaxed.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I mean, like, if you say corona, they say fine.
As in
You do namaste.
paranoia, right? Like,
Yeah, there's
as in
no,
they're
I
not
mean,
paranoid.
in England, you'd think it was, it was the plague.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah?
I keep getting texts from my friends, and they're like stockpiling, hand sanitizer. And here people are like, yeah, hi, okay, fine. We don't have to hold hands or like shake hands.
I think you're the one that did that first.
Yeah.
Because I walked in the room and
exactly.
I was like,
so
oh,
no, I
smart.
like that. I also, of course, the weather and so on, and there's a lot of natural beauty. But I think what I like is that it's a truly cosmopolitan place.
Yeah.
And I think that's quite special when you come out of Europe.
Yeah.
And I've been living there for so long that I've forgotten what, Can I say this on the camera? I've forgotten what cosmopolitan is because I live in Europe.
you can say that. Yeah. And in terms of your set, I like it's versatile. You talk about your family and stuff. Did you have to like consider the audiences that I'm in South Africa? What can I talk about? Can people relate?
I think the first night we were going on, I was listening to everyone.
Yeah.
But because I talk about family, everyone has a family. Today I made a joke about skin color, and then I threw in this thing about, well, it's South Africa, why am I even bothering, So you've got to be ready for that. I think the first night, I don't really worry about whether they'll understand family or how much like relationships. Of course they do, but I just wanted to see how it would go down. Also in terms of references, and I throw in a lot of stuff about India and a lot of stuff about Europe, and they got it. I mean, I have, the audiences have been fantastic. Tonight's audience is on fire.
Yeah, I guess it's that cosmopolitan type of thing.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know enough about Cape Town or South Africa to know if these audiences are particularly cosmopolitan or are they. I don't know, but it's working.
Yeah.
You know what? And
you're very funny.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It's working, and there we are.
Yeah.
So.
And Sindhu, Hindu. I gotta say, personally, you're the first Hindu comedian. Indian, there's Russell Peters, there's few comedians that we know, but not a Hindu. So it's like interesting perspective.
Well, I think it's just it rhymes with Sindhu. And literally when I say Sindhu and people are like, Cindy, once someone said, is that like Mace Windu?
Yeah.
I'm like, no, I'm not a Star Wars character, you fool. But when you just say Sindhu, who's Hindu, and people are like, oh, Hindu, we get that. Also, when you talk about religion, everyone's like, oh, back here. In India, we're very open about religion. And we say, I believe in God. In Europe, everyone's like, oh, you bring up religion, then they start to focus.
That's
true.
true.
All I need is them to focus that it's Sindhu.
Yeah. And in terms of comedy, right? When I grew up, comedy was like a comedian could say whatever.
Yeah.
Provided that's kind of the truth, right? And like each comedian has to live their truth. But nowadays, it's like the climate is just so sensitive.
Yes.
How do you deal with that?
I think a couple of things. I think you've got to also, as a comedian, when I write material, even if it's about an individual one of my cousins is an idiot, complete idiot, like, ugh. And I was writing some material about him, and then I thought it's a bit mean. Then I have to ask myself, why am I writing this? Because I think as a good comic, you have to be the butt of the joke at some level. Not maybe directly in that joke, but as a set, you've got to be able to show that you are also able to make fun of yourself. Yeah. And I think that's something. So if you have that perspective, then you tend to not to punch down. I honestly believe as a comic you can make any jokes you like. That's my belief. But they've got to be funny. And they can't just be funny to people who look like you or think like you.
Yeah.
They got to be funny to everyone. You got to go into a room full of the people you're making fun of and tell that joke.
That's true.
Then I think, okay, that's a litmus test. That's the first thing. The second thing, though, I'll say is that because of social media, someone will go and film you and then they'll put something on and then it's like, oh, everyone thinks this. No.
Yeah.
One idiot with a phone in the audience thought that. It's not, I mean, you have to have a bit of a thick skin about it. You know what I mean? I think those are the two rules. You keep those in mind.
Yeah.
And you go out there and you say what you want and you make it funny. It's hard to make tough topics funny.
That's true.
So if you're good at it, knock yourself out.
Yeah. Then I just talking about topics.
Yes.
I got a couple of topics I'm gonna throw around.
Okay.
Then you
Is
can
it a quiz? Is it a quiz?
Not a quiz. Just I'll throw a word or a person. Then you just whatever comes to mind.
Okay.
Right. So it is 2020. Elections are coming in America. Trump. What are your thoughts?
Oh man, no. What's the word I want to say? No.
Yeah. To anyone voting, no. I think it's gonna win.
No.
Yeah, he'll win.
Well, that's the tragedy. I think if the Democrats got their act together and became more realistic rather than just ideological about, this is the better idea, then maybe. But yeah. Ugh.
Yeah. Cancel culture.
It's bullshit.
I gotta do that. You know what? Personally, I think it's ridiculous. It's basically having the notion that you know every person's character. Like you're basing it on that. It's like.
But also, when you cancel culture, it also you make the assumption that people listening are they're made of wax. They're gonna hear something they don't like and they're gonna melt. What kind of world is that?
Yeah.
I mean, if people are allowed to listen to ideas that they don't agree with and have a conversation. Otherwise, there's no more conversation. Then we're all in our own silos, telling each other the same thing, and no one's getting any better informed or educated. I used to go, when I went to university, it was to be challenged. If everyone is just saying the things that I agree with, I'm not really getting an education, am I?
Yeah.
That's bullshit.
True. And what would you say most stereotypes when it comes to Indian people or Hindu people?
Oh, so the Indians' biggest stereotypes are that we talk like this.
Yeah.
Which we do kind of, but it's a stereotype. It's a stereotype that we, it's a stereotype that our mothers are very tough, but it's true. I'm married to someone who's not Indian, and yet I raise my kids like a crazy person.
Do you shout all the time?
I don't. I threaten them. I don't shout. I threaten them. See, I said, if I get up off this chair, you wait and see.
Yeah.
And in England, they're like, that's so violent. I'm like, I'm not doing it. I'm just scaring them.
And how do you punish the kids?
Oh man, I'm not talking about that on camera.
It's definitely not the silent corner or like
the
step or...
You know what the naughty step is? You've been terribly behaved. Kindly go relax on the staircase.
Does that work?
It's bullshit. I've never done that in my life. Kid is relaxing.
It sounds ridiculous. As an African child, it's like
no, and also they have this thing called star chart.
Yeah.
That every time you don't do something terrible, like kick me in the face, you get a star.
Just like school.
It's not even like school. In India, in school, if you behave badly, you stand in the corner with your face to the wall.
Oh, wow.
No, I mean, look, I teach the kids. I think the kids have a very healthy, they're nervous around me if they do something wrong.
Oh, yeah?
That's how it should be.
Yeah.
I mean, I used to get properly whacked by my mother, but I always knew why.
Yeah.
It wasn't like I was confused. I knew why. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. So, I think, a lot of ways in which I was raised, which I don't do to my kids, is because it is illegal. I don't want to go to jail. Then my kids are no use to. You can have really well behaved kids. You're sitting in jail. What's the point?
Yeah.
So I don't do that. But yeah, no, I think there's a stereotype about Indian moms, but it's true.
Yeah. And any other stereotypes?
Okay, so there's the mom, and there's this. I think what are the other stereotypes? I don't know. I think it's that we eat very hot food. But
no, that is true.
Yeah, but it's
that
tasty
is
food.
True.
The stereotype
tasty,
would be that we eat
very
tasty
hot.
food.
Yeah. Then just to close it off, there's this new thing like, who is the Mount Rushmore of comedy? So who's your 4 top comedies?
4 top comedians.
Comedians, yes.
There is. That's a tough one. Wow. Different eras, I'm a big fan of Wanda Sykes.
Yeah.
Her stand-up.
She has amazing specials, I guess.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of Eddie Izzard.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of Bill Burr. And
Legend.
There is a comedian, but she wasn't a stand-up, and she was when I was very young.
Yeah.
Her name is Carol Burnett.
Carol Burnett.
And she's American. I used to hide from my parents to watch her TV shows, and I was a very big fan of hers. But there's also Dave Chappelle. I mean, 4 is no use,
Yeah.
There's also Dave Chappelle. He's in that list. So 5.
5. We'll put him in there. Yeah. Anyway, Sindhu, thanks for your time.
So much.
Really appreciate it. You know what it is, your ex-entertainment, in case you do know. But